Hello. So this is a different kind of video. I'm not really sure if I should be filming this or what the implications of me filming this type of video will be, because I don't know if like the school will do something, for example, like ban me from ever returning or anything like that. They'll ban me from reaching out again, but I think it's important I kind of get what I went through out there for other people, because when I was going through it, I was looking on YouTube for other people's stories and other people's experiences of bullying and what they went through and how they coped, what they learned from it. But yeah, this is a video about bullying and the bullying I went through that got so bad I had to leave and change colleges. So yeah, I'm fine now. I'm in a better place now. I've got my bear with me. I've had this bear since, I don't even know. It's beaten up, as you can tell. It's lost an eye, and it's got a rip there, and there's a rip at the back as well. But I've had this since I was like 8. So I've got my bear, I'm on my bed, I've got my art and posters. So all I have now to do is just to speak and to get on with the video. So yeah. So for me, I've always been a shy kid. Like when I was younger, I wasn't shy though. Like I wasn't shy when I was younger. When I was like from the ages 8 below, I wasn't shy, like at all. I was really bold. I was really, there's this saying in Africa, in Yoruba, it's onsheyako. Like I was a show off. Like I literally would show off, like I was just a show off. I was just a very happy-go-lucky child. I was never, like, I was very bold. Oh, my back is starting to hurt. Hold on. I'm just gonna put a pillow, because my back is really, like, my back's against the wall, but I'm growing old, guys. 18 is old, but I'm growing old. All my days. My poster. If my camera drops, I will not be happy. It's shaking though. Don't shake, don't drop either. I just slowly move the pillow and come back. Okay. Anyway. So yeah, I was always like a very bold child when I was growing up, but I actually got bullied a lot when I was younger, like younger than this. I am still young, but younger than this. Like maybe I started getting bullied around, I think 8 years old. There was this girl. There was this other girl, she didn't like me. She was black, by the way. Like, when I used to tell my parents about bullying, like, when I told them, because I got bullied again after I was 8, by the way. But when I finally admitted to them that, yeah, I was bullied throughout the whole time I was in secondary school, by the way. Well, it wasn't the whole time, but, like, when, my first secondary school, my dad was like, yeah, if they're racist to you, then you be racist back and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh, you stand up for yourself, not be racist back, because my dad's not like that. But like, I was like, no, Dad, it wasn't like that. It wasn't like that. Like, I got bullied by other black girls for being me, for being different. So yeah, it was this other black girl that just used to pick on me all the time. She just didn't like me when I was 8. I think that's when my confidence diminished greatly. I also moved schools around that time as well, so I was the new kid. So my confidence in myself went down by a lot. What else? That was it really, but secondary school started. And yeah, I was popular, but I wasn't popular. Like, I was popular because I played sports, but I wasn't, like, part of that group. Yeah, I, like, flowed in and out of different groups and different people. This camera's shaking. Hold on. Let me just try and stabilize this thing. Right, I'll just try my hardest not to move. But basically, yeah, secondary school was really hard for me. I think I don't want to go too deep and share some stuff that I don't want to share, but there were some hard times at the beginning of secondary school. Some really, really, really tough times where it was very hard for me to go to school. I wasn't part of like a girl group, if that makes sense. So it wasn't like the bitchy type of fights. I was just alone most of the time. Like, I just spent a lot of time on my own, especially because of my religion as well. I already had friends from my congregation, so I didn't really need to put effort into making friends because I already had friends, if that makes sense. But I am glad that on Instagram I added a lot of my friends, like, from secondary school. Like, I'm really glad I did that because they're good people. Like, I wasn't not gonna add them because they weren't a part of my congregation and stuff like that, because they were good people and really good friends to me during secondary school. So although I had a really bad time and a mix of good and bad, you know, it was good and bad. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't like brilliant. It was a mix. So, but the college bullying was the worst bullying I ever experienced, and I didn't even think that people would bully at that stage because I thought people were too busy for that. I thought people were too busy for that. I thought they were too concentrated for that. I thought they'd outgrown it. But people, like, bullies grow up and they still bully. They grow up and they think they can act that way, which is shocking. And if someone stops them, great. But bullies grow up to become bullies, unfortunately, and victims grow up to become victims again and again, unless they learn how to stand up for themselves, which is something I have learned how to do. I mean, and something I'm working on. But after what happened at my college, like, I made a promise to myself to never ever let someone walk all over me and just sit there and let them do it, because no one's gonna stand up for you. You have to stand up for yourself. And that's what was proven to me of what happened at my first college. Like, no one's gonna stand up for you. You need to stand up for yourself. And that's the sad reality of it, because there's something called the bystander effect, where bystanders don't really do anything, but they are still affected by what happens. They still feel the impact, and nobody benefits from bullying, really, except maybe the person who feels they're so powerful and they're overexerting their power because they just want to feel good for about 20 seconds of humiliating and downgrading a person. It's just stupid. Like, I've never bullied anyone. Well, there were times where I do admit I may have let a couple of things slip out that shouldn't have slipped out. But in hindsight and in reflection, I regret those moments, and I'm working on being a better human being. I think we all make mistakes and we all say things that we shouldn't say. And I'm going to be mature enough to admit that there have been some things that I've said to some people that I shouldn't have said. But I've never bullied anyone. I've never gone across and literally made someone feel miserable, because I know what that feels like, and it's hell. It's absolute hell. You don't want to go through that. You don't want to go through that. You don't even want to know what that feels like. School and secondary school, college, work, those environments are so hard to get up for anyway. It's hard to pull yourself together in the morning and go someplace with strangers and work together. And then you're gonna come there and make someone's life harder because you find it funny. It's disgraceful. It's absolutely disgraceful. Like, I'm 100% an advocate of anti-bullying programs, especially with just everyone, to be inclusive of everyone who comes under that. Because I don't think bullying will ever stop, but it can be reduced, and you need to speak up if it's happening to you. You need to speak up if it's happening to you. But anyway, I'll get to my story now. So it all started with a boy who I dated, and before I even begin this, for all of you people who are going to say stuff like, this should be kept private, shut up. Because I can talk about what I want to talk about. I can talk about what I want to talk about. Did you hear that? I can talk about what I want to talk about. If it happened to me, I can talk about it. And if you can relate to this experience, I'm happy for that. This is for the people that can relate to this experience and that can find some comfort in knowing this hasn't just happened to you, it's happened to me. Be strong. So there was this boy I dated. We dated. We weren't boyfriend and girlfriend, okay? We dated. We just got to know each other. We just got to know each other, and we got to know each other for 10 weeks. And that time, I was going through some pretty rough stuff already. Like, the school knew I was going through quite a lot at home. My college, don't get confused, I'm not talking about secondary school here, I'm talking about my college. My college was, I'll call it college for now. My college was already aware there was a lot of things going on at home, and this brought me comfort, confidence, happiness, you know. It gave me something to cling on to, but it also made me realize that I couldn't rely on someone else to make me better in terms of my mental health. I couldn't rely on someone to make all these things and thoughts that I think about, all these bad, just, I don't want to go in too deep, but I was having a very rough time with my mental health. I just knew I couldn't rely on someone. While I was dating him, I realized this. I realized I couldn't rely on a human being to help me. I couldn't. So during that time, I remember getting help for my mental health, because as happy as I was with someone, I just knew I couldn't rely on a human being to make me happy. I just knew I couldn't do that, and it wouldn't be fair. That's the more important thing. It wouldn't be fair to rely on someone else for your happiness. Like, you need to be happy within yourself. And I wasn't happy within myself while I was dating this person. I was miserable. And I think one of the most important things to know, I think this is why I was taken advantage of. I actually hated myself. Like, I'm admitting that now. But I know where everything came from. I failed at something that was very important to me. I won't share what it was, but and after that, I remember feeling absolutely dreadful, worthless, just not good enough, just not good at all. Like, I didn't feel really good about myself at all, and I started to hate myself. And this is where my problems with eating came. Like, I wouldn't eat properly. I would just focus on pleasing men, because people would say to me, "You're so pretty, and you're so pretty, and you're so pretty, and you're so pretty, and just, you're so pretty." And they didn't know that really the things that were going on in me were like crazy. Like, I wasn't okay. Like, I was going through so much, and people would just say, "You're pretty, you're pretty, you're pretty," and "you're pretty" gets annoying at one point, you know. And I thought, if I can make a guy happy, I'll be happy. If I can make someone happy, I'll be happy. And I think this is where it started. This is where the problems began. This is where it all started from. Because I hated myself. I didn't love myself. I didn't love myself, because if I loved myself, I would never have put myself through treatment. The funny thing about me is, it was kind of weird, the loving yourself phase. There were some days where I knew my worth, where I knew it, where I knew I don't deserve this, walk away. I knew it. There were some days where you would be like, "What? Where's the girl from last week?" Like, I'd just be this anxious mess. Just really inconsistent. So I'm just hoping to learn how to like with therapy and everything, learning how to balance that out, how to stop being anxious mess, confident girl, anxious mess, confident girl, and just be average, just be something in between and not fluctuating all the time, because we don't want to fluctuate. We don't want that. We don't need the fluctuations. So, like I said, I hated myself. So I really didn't realize what I'm going into. I was very low, in a bad place, and then a boy comes along and yay, everything, like my mood completely lifted. I was just like, and this is the bad thing, because that means your happiness just depends on a boy, which is stupid. But this is what happened to me, and I'm sharing this because if you can relate to this, or if someone else went through this, or someone else, camera's shaking again, if someone else went through this or can relate to what I'm talking about, then that's fine. That's all I want. That's literally all I want. And I just want to share this story so other people can relate to it as well. And I know that you're not alone. So yeah, I dated someone, and there was a girl who I know didn't like me. She'd always give me dirty looks from the distance. She'd always just... I just knew she didn't like me. And the first day we met again, it was kind of sus because he brought me straight to her. And I was like... okay, like... that's a bit sus, but okay. But I didn't really say much back then. But after that, he kind of broke it off after I met his friends. Well, I didn't really meet them. But after that, he broke it off and said we should stop. And I was like, okay, sure, fine. I unfollowed him from Instagram because I'm like, okay, we're going our separate ways now. As you do when you stop dating or getting to know someone. Like, because for me, I was taking it quite seriously. So I was just like, okay, I think we should break it off now and go our separate ways. I did just that, and I removed him from my Instagram, and he was so angry. He was so mad. He told his friend about it, and his friend was like trying to make sure we didn't sit next to each other. And I don't blame his friend, because his friend was being a good friend. He's gonna go off what's based off of what his... It's really hard for me not to call him something bad right now, but like, it's really hard not to go, like, for a friend not to defend a friend, if that makes sense. He doesn't deserve to be defended though. Just saying. Anyway, after some time, I got confused. I kept following him, unfollowing him, following him, unfollowing him, following him, unfollowing him, because I was so, like, I didn't want to upset him. I didn't want to... I just didn't want to upset him. I was so confused. I was so indecisive. I couldn't make up my mind. And after some time, he just grew to hate me. He just grew to hate me, and he spread rumors about me in my college. He started sharing private stuff about me that he knew would hurt me because I told him it would hurt me, to other teachers, students, and my teachers started treating me differently. They didn't care. They didn't even think, like, they didn't even think there's two sides to every story. They just took everything from his mouth and took it and went with it. They discriminated against me because of my religious beliefs. I won't share what religion I was in. I mean, it's on my Instagram. You can find out. It's at LY Precious. You can find out what religion I was in on my story. It's the one with the exclamation mark. But I don't really like saying it all the time. But yeah, they discriminated against me because of my religion. I don't know if it was a racial thing, but I'm just saying the staff at this school are predominantly white. Yeah, so I'm not gonna bash the school and say the school was bad, the school was this, don't go to this school, because I still had an amazing time there and I met some amazing people there, like, that I will cherish for life, and I'm so glad to have the second chance because of them. Like, second chance at my A-levels. Anyway, he grew to hate me and spread rumors about me that my teachers sided with him. And at this point, I just thought, rumors, ignore it. Ignore it. And this is the problem. The problem of why it escalated to the point where it did is because I ignored it. Don't ignore it, confront it. The second you hear that there's rumors going on about you, go to your head teacher, tell him that someone is spreading rumors about you, defamatory rumors. Do it. Because if you don't do it, you'll end up, it will just end up in a mess. It will just end up in a big fat mess. Okay? Anyway, he grew to hate me. My teachers grew to hate me too because they liked him, and they liked him, you know. And they didn't like me anymore. And they didn't know that we dated, that this was revenge. He was seeking revenge for me walking away from him and not begging at his feet or something like that, because no, I wouldn't do that. He was telling his friends, I say friends, but they weren't really friends. They only got close because of what happened over me. His friends were just... they would just go off anything he said. Anything he said, they'd listen to it because they're boys, aren't they? It's a physics class full of just like 3 girls. One's one of colour. Are you gonna listen to her or are you gonna listen to the white boy? Like you. he spread these rumors. Like, he would go into a rage anytime he saw me, the teachers giving me attention. There was one time a teacher was giving me a fair bit amount of attention, and he literally went into full narcissist rage. And I was like, whoa. But no one thinks that's odd or strange or anything like that. Nobody thinks those things. The final thing that happened was he spread rumors to my physics teacher, one of them, and she believed him over me of everything. And I didn't say goodbye to her because she was leaving. And basically, I didn't say goodbye to her because she was leaving. So she then got really angry, started singling me out, picking on me, and then humiliated me by reading my grade out in front of the whole class. And I was just in tears. I was in tears because I knew what was going on. I knew who had caused this. I knew what was happening. I just wanted to leave at this point. Like, I had gotten enough abuse from teachers, from students. Like, I just had enough at that point. And they all liked him. You know, when everybody likes the nice guy, who's gonna go against the nice guy? Because he's so nice, you know? No one would suspect anything or think anything bad of it, you know? So the next day, I didn't really go into details. Teachers changed the subject, you know. I talked about what happened. They changed the subject. I was just tired. I was not even gonna sit there anymore. I just told them I'm leaving and I'm going far away from this place, from this school, from all of it. Like, I was traumatized to the point where someone I once loved, because unfortunately I have to say I loved him, because I hated myself that I loved him, someone so bad that I fell in love with this person and I couldn't detach myself. And it took me such a long time to recover from this because of the impact it had on me. I remember crying on the phone to the crisis team, and they were just saying, I explained everything that happened to them, and they were like, yeah, well, you know, this all happened because someone was jealous of you. And I was like, no, what are you talking about? Why would someone be jealous of me? And he was like, okay. But he was right. And it took me a while to realize he was correct. Because I thought, who would be jealous of me? Why would you be jealous of me? Do you know what I go through? Do you know what happens in my life? Do you know what I go through? Do you know how... Do you know what I go through? Why would you be jealous of me? Why would you be jealous of me? Do you know what I go through every day? But it's true, they were. And I feel sorry for him because he's gonna grow up and he's gonna grow up like that. Any girl that walks away from him, he's gonna treat like absolute crap because the girl actually had the sense to walk away. So, my lessons learned from all of this, well, I wouldn't say, hold on, I'm just gonna move the camera back a bit. Okay. I wouldn't say I learned anything, pretty much. Like, I wanted to file a complaint against my college and do that, but I'm still in the process of doing that. Just because of the effect it had on me, like, I stopped eating, sleeping, I was crying, I was having panic attacks before school, like, I was crying in the toilets, hiding in the toilets, like, it just wasn't fun. It just wasn't fun at all. It was the worst experience of my life, what happened at my previous college, and the fact that I wanted to take legal action against them was because they're so, like, how dare they, first of all, discriminate against my religion? Do they know what I go through? Do you know what someone's going through? Do you just see labels and think, oh, like, educators? You people are supposed to be university educated, higher education. They're thick. Like, what I went through. Oh, I haven't even talked about half the stuff I went through because I don't want to make this video too long. I just talked about the most important parts. How my teacher read my grade only out loud in front of the whole class in order to humiliate me. And after that, well, I don't think I owe him any respect. He ghosted me. So I'm gonna share that because he doesn't deserve my respect because I don't respect him. And I don't forgive him either for what he did to me because of the impact it had on me and how long it took me to recover from it. But anyway, the lessons I learned really is, don't let things get to you. As you become more successful, there will be people that are jealous of you. And that's something that I didn't realize, and that's something that nobody told me about becoming more successful. Nobody told me that your success, yeah, it's good, it's amazing, but watch out because there are jealous people, alright? There are people that think you don't deserve what you have and make you doubt your reality. Okay, I'm just checking the camera's not shaking all over the place. Alright. But yeah, there will be people that get jealous of you. You'll lose friends. If you had any anyway. Because the reason it got so out of control is because I didn't have any real friends, you know? I didn't have anyone to tell me, you should do this. And I didn't really tell anyone what I was going to do either. So the friends that I did have, I didn't have any real friends at the college. I did have a few, but none that I felt comfortable enough to tell them what was really going on. And I couldn't admit to myself that it was bullying until a lot later because, like, I didn't tell the teachers I was getting bullied, by the way. They're not mind readers, so I don't blame them for not taking action or doing anything. I didn't tell them that I was getting bullied by this boy. And I didn't realize it was bullying because I still loved him. I still protected him. I still made excuses for him. I still stayed quiet. Anytime anyone would talk about him, I would not open my mouth because I still loved him. I still respected him and I still found him very attractive in my eyes, but not anymore. He doesn't deserve my respect and I don't respect him and I will never forgive him for what he did to me. And that's powerful. The other stuff I learned is not to let people walk all over you. Like, stand up for yourself. defend yourself and tell someone what's going on, alright? Don't keep it inside, don't keep it to yourself, because you'll regret it. Tell someone. And at the end of the day, bullies are horrible people. Remember that. Remember that you are so far removed from what they are. Okay, so that's it for today's video. The camera's still shaking and my teddy's still here. I think that should be my thumbnail. I don't know. I'll decide. But yeah, I hope people know that bullying doesn't last forever and there is hope. Please tell someone what's happening. Please don't keep it to yourself. Please, please don't get to that point where you feel like you have nowhere to go and it's better if you didn't exist anymore. Because you are so much more than that. You have so much worth that you have no idea how much you are worth. You are priceless, okay? Priceless. So yeah, that's it from me. Goodbye. Okay, I finished the video. I'm so happy. You want to see my wall? Wait, actually, I have a better idea.